Hi. I want to talk to you about something that's a little unpleasant, but also a little funny. And bear with me, it might be one of my longer videos, but I hope that it'll give you something to take with you in the work that you're doing and in your life in general. So they're doing construction next door, and I have a chicken coop right behind me, so you can probably hear the chickens. It's very cozy, to be honest. I'm in BC, British Columbia, in Canada for the summer with my fiance. I guess I went into this uh, AI, making money with AI and affiliate, without thinking of the consequences. In Denmark, where I grew up, I think most people would be excited for me if I had success and was making money. And speaking, addressing the North American audience has been quite the wake up for me, has been a different experience. I started an ad maybe a week ago, having it run on Facebook, and I specifically targeted women because, I'm talking to women about abundance and growth and wealth and money mindset. And I have a lot of comments on that ad, and it's mostly men. It is 99% men who are commenting on the ad, and they are not nice. They are not happy for my growth. They are not supportive. They are not respectful. They are trolling. They are calling it scam. They're calling it BS. They are being generally really, really rude and degrading. And my first response to it was, "Ooh, that doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. I'm scared of being, you know, people are gonna think that they are right when they call it a scam. The women that I'm addressing with this ad are gonna think that it is actually a scam because these guys say it is." But before deleting the ad, I thought, no, you know what? I'm gonna sleep on it and then I'll make a decision tomorrow. That's one of the things I've learned in life is do not act on your first instinct. Follow your gut feeling, but sleep on it. And so I slept on it and I woke up and I thought, well, you know what? Obviously, there's still a lot of men out there who cannot contain that women are more skilled than them in a new field of success. There's Because why would someone call it out as a scam without knowing it? And I'm using AI to make money, and I am making money, and I know of quite a few people who are making money with AI, and not just like I've made a few thousands now. Uh, but I know people who've made like a lot of money with AI. So, so I thought, okay, so obviously there are not that North American men are not supportive to women, but there's a lot more men who are not supportive to women over here than I would experience in Europe. So, what are my options here? I can stop the ad, I can delete it and delete all the nasty comments. I can report all the comments to Facebook saying that they're harassing and bullying me. Or I can do something else because on Facebook, the algorithm doesn't care whether it's good or bad comments. It's all engagement. And when I have engagement, my ad will be shown to a lot more people, and hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, more of you out there, women who are interested in also making money. And I said once, I've said in one of my early videos that one of my money mindset blocks was that I saw that it was mostly people teaching others how to make money who made money. And therefore, I cannot teach others how to make money with something without being inauthentic. And I decided to just move through that block and go, well, if I'm just 100% honest the whole way about what I do, how much I make, who I am, what my goal is, what I do, so that we're sharing, so that I'm sharing my abundance with you out there. I'm sharing my knowledge. And I have nothing to sell. I'm completely confident, not just pretty, but completely confident that the universe has got my behind. The universe is taking care of me because it always does and it always has. In my whole life, I've always had enough. I was never super rich. I was never super wealthy. I was once, but I'm going to get back to that. Um, but I've always had enough. And so I'm going to open up to this abundance and allow it to flow and say, if people want what I have, that's great. Mwah, I love it. And may they prosper and may they be abundant and may they be joyful. But I don't have to push anything. I don't have to sell anything. I don't have to go, well, if you don't use what I'm using, you're not going to make the money that I'm making. I can be honest instead and say, this is what I'm doing. And if it feels like it's aligned with who you are, you might want to try it. And if not, don't. Move on, find something else. That's okay. For me, the important part is that I'm here to build community, to build a supportive community for women. We are lifting each other up in this because and so my point is seeing how much trolling and hate my ad got, it just becomes even more important for me to be here and to tell you there's a story in the cultural narrative that women cannot be financially successful and feminine and open and loving and community building. That's not possible. You have to do it like a man. You have to be bam, 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 bam. Or you have to not talk about your wealth. You have to not talk about your abundance because it's embarrassing. I had I was sitting at a gathering here with my partner and some of his friends. And I started talking about money. And he was like, oh, sorry, here in Canada, we don't talk openly about money like that. And I'm like, why? Why not talk openly about money? Because as soon as there's something that we don't talk openly about, we are facilitating shame. And you know what shame does? It blocks your abundance. It blocks your love. It blocks your self-love, your self-esteem, and your growth. So shame, go away. Let's talk about everything. Let's talk openly about menopause and orgasms and money and shame and guilt and abuse. Let's talk about it all. Let's put it on the table and go, everything is part of life. And we want to talk about it. We are not going to be subdued into not talking about something because, ooh, I don't know, maybe they make more than me, or maybe I don't seem like I'm successful or abundant enough. And I've had a little bit of that. Looking back, I can see, even though Denmark is probably a little more equal between men and women and success than I've experienced here in North America, there is some of it in Denmark. So here's my story. In the 90s, when computers arrived in Denmark, I was fascinated. I was fascinated by computers and what they could do. All this programming. I programmed the Danish flag on my TV screen with a computer. I built a little a little program to run. I had Norton File Manager, and I liked to sit there and just look at the files and try to understand what are files and how do they work and what is kilobyte and what is, you know, megahertz, whatever, all these things. And I was a social educator back then, but uh, I was working as a social educator, and I was getting maybe $2,000 a month. And I was offered a job teaching for 3 hours for $500. And I was like, let me think about that. And I said yes. And I found out that I have a knack for teaching. And I had a knack for teaching technology. And being a woman in the technology business back then was leverage. Like that was an advantage, right? Because people were fascinated by the fact that a woman found computers interesting and knew something about computers. I was never really a techie. Like technology doesn't interest me as such. I don't want to mess with wires and build my own personal computer or put more RAM in my laptop, stuff like that. I'm not a techie that way at all. But I did like the teaching. I did like being a frontier in a new field. That I liked. So I quit my social educator job and I started teaching, not full time because I didn't have to. I would teach maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, maybe 4 days a week, and I was making big bucks compared to what I did as a social educator. Suddenly I was like making $10,000, what amounts to 10,000 US dollars a month. And I would literally walk into a store because I grew up poor and I was poor the most of my life. And then suddenly I had all this money, and instead of investing them and doing something smart, I would go into a store and I would try on a t-shirt, for example. And if I liked the t-shirt, I would buy it in every color. So stuff like that, feeling abundant, feeling that I had a lot of availability. And I really enjoyed it. But what I found out was that most men were like, yeah, good for you. But there were definitely some men who were not acting like that, who were not happy for me, who were not impressed with me. And they said, oh, you were lucky to get that job. No, I was not lucky. I was good at what I was doing. It wasn't because of my pretty brown eyes and my big boobs. No, I was good at what I was doing. I had an understanding of Windows, for example, and Lotus Smart Suite and how it worked. And I was able to communicate something that was back then was very. Oh, we have both a cat and a chicken right here now. That's really funny. They're staring at each other. They're having a staring match. That's really funny. I don't think I can change the camera so I can show you. I will try though, because it's pretty funny. Oh, kitty. Yeah, this is Ginger. And I don't know the name of the chicken, but I know it's the neighbors. And that was the entertainment break. Back to the video. So I found out that there were actually some men who automatically assumed that I had slept with someone to get that job. I was like, what? That is the most demeaning thing that I could even imagine, that I would sleep my way to a job. And I want to say that I know that this is something that actually happens all over the world. I know that women are getting what they should have, what they deserve, but because it's difficult to get our foot in, I know there are women who uses sex for leverage and sex as a door opener. And it's really sad that it has to be that way. It's really, really sad, and it shouldn't be like that. And I can't change it. I hope that it'll change over time, but the way the world is now, it doesn't look like it's going in that direction. But what I can do is I can speak about it, right? We can speak about it and talk about it openly. So suddenly I was making really good money, and there was a few guys who were probably not even consciously, but unconsciously jealous of me and thinking that I could not possibly have earned my way to that job. And had I asked them, are you being demeaning because I'm a woman? Are you assuming that I use sex to get this position intentionally? They would have said, no, it's got nothing to do with the fact that you're a woman. And this is where I see that men are also victims of this narrative, right? They don't even know that they don't see women as equals. They don't know. They have been brainwashed by the culture, by religion, to assume that women are less skilled than men, that we are less intelligent, that we are less deserving. And there's a lot of women who are the same, but you know that if you're a woman, you know this already, so I don't have to address it with you. Well, maybe I do, but not right now. So I guess what I want to say in this video, how far are we? Okay, 17 minutes. That's a long video. I think I'm going to make it 20 minutes. So bear with me. And please subscribe and like and share to support my channel and the work that we're doing here, okay? And show me your channel. Put a link to your channel in the comments if you have a channel. Or tell me about your work. Show me your website. Tell me what you're building so I can support it in some way, okay? So I guess my point is that when you start to be unapologetically abundant, when you are starting to stand in your light and speak your truth, when you start really loving yourself and stop explaining why you deserve everything good in this life, there will be some people, men and women, who will be jealous, who will be envious, who will be acting towards you in a way where it will feel like they don't think you deserve it. And I want to say to you, this is really important. I want to say to you, probably already bought my book, Unapologetic Abundance. If not, then it's here in my shop. That'll help you to be unapologetic. You don't owe them anything. You do not owe them an explanation. You do not owe them to defend yourself. You do not owe anyone to justify how you're making money. You know, I'm here to support you. You support you. Pick your tribe. Pick your tribe. Pick the people who are actually truly supporting you. Pick them carefully with your heart. And if someone is questioning your legality, is that the word? The legality of what you're doing. If they're saying, oh, AI is a lie, AI is cheating, AI is stealing, it's a scam, bullshit, you know, if they say stuff like that, you know, give a witty comeback. Ask ChatGPT how to get a witty comeback. That's what I do. I post every nasty comment. I take a screenshot and I put it in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give a clappy comeback to it, and then I write that. Because I don't want to waste my energy thinking about these trolls, right? So I just use ChatGPT to do clappy comebacks. And in my opinion, you know, one of the most important spiritual laws in this universe is do not take anything personally. And this is really important if you want to be abundant, because if you start taking their energy personally, it will be very, very hard for you to allow yourself to be as huge as you are energetically, right? As abundant as you are energetically. So don't take it personally. Just go, ooh, fly, go away, right? Okay? So when we start to rise, when we start to grow, when we start to call in abundance and wealth and joy, we can experience that some people around us will try to push us down and tell us to go back in the corner of shame where we come from and stay there. And we have to tell them, I'm not doing that. Well, we don't even have to tell them that, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going back in the corner of shame. I am standing here in my light, and I don't need permission. I'm not going to ask for permission. I'm just doing it. I'm making money. I'm shining my light. I'm telling my truth, and that's who I am. I hope this was inspiring for you. Feel free to share if you know other women who need a little bit of a loving boost. So feel free to share it. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for creating this abundance with us. We are changing the world together. We are making it legal for women to be abundant and wealthy and joyful. And AI is a tool, right? We are using AI as a tool to do that. And we have skills to do that. So don't let anyone say, oh, you're using AI because you don't have any skills. No, I'm using AI just like you use a hammer to put a nail in the wall. You, right? We are allowed to use tools. That means we're skilled. So enough talk. Give me your input, give me your work, give me a comment, give me a heart, and share with all the women you know. Okay? See you soon again. Bye.